Two creepy true horror street Ories. I never believed in real evil until that night in Oregon. The kind that doesn't just scare you but follows you home. The kind that wears a painted smile and never forgets your name. My name is Marin. I was 19 when this happened. My best friends, Leon and Cassidy, had just come back from college for the summer. We met up with Rachel, a quiet girl with long black hair who had just moved into a rental near the old Tillamook Forest. Locals said that area was off limits after dark. People always said it felt watched. We didn't believe in small town rumors. We were bored and curious. Rachel dared us to explore the abandoned ranger station about 5 miles into the woods. The sun was going down, and the sky turned a deep burnt orange as we started walking. I remember how quiet it got. No bugs, no birds, just the sound of our footsteps and leaves cracking beneath our boots. By the time we got to the station, it was almost dark. The building was half collapsed, covered in ivy and moss. Leon climbed in first through a broken window. We followed, flashlights in hand. The air was stale. Everything smelled old. Rachel found a cracked mirror on the wall. That's when Leon whispered something was standing behind us. I turned and saw nothing, but then we heard the laugh. Low, slow, and wrong, like it came from inside the walls. We froze. Cassidy dropped her flashlight. The beam spun and landed on a corner of the room where someone or something stood. A man in a tattered clown costume. White face, purple-red eyes, thick eyebrows, and a sharp chin. His red hair looked like it hadn't been brushed in decades. He didn't move. He just watched. We ran, sprinting through the forest, trees whipping past. I looked back. He wasn't running. He was gliding, closer every time I blinked. When we got to Rachel's car, the doors were open. None of us had left them that way. I haven't seen Rachel since that night. Her house was found empty the next morning, no signs of struggle. Leon and Cassidy refused to talk about what happened, but I know we weren't imagining him. The red-haired man with the smile is still out there, watching, waiting. I don't think this is over, and deep down, I don't think he ever left the forest. It's been 6 months since Rachel disappeared. The news never covered it. There was no police report. Her rental is still empty, untouched. Mail piled on the porch. Dishes still in the sink. Her cat, Pepper, found by a neighbor 2 weeks later, wandering the forest edge. None of us ever talked about that night again, but the silence didn't mean we forgot. Cassidy moved back to Arizona. She told her parents it was just college stress, but I remember her face the day we left Rachel's house. Pale, distant, like her mind wasn't in the room. Leon stayed in Oregon. He works nights now, says he likes the quiet. I haven't seen him smile since that summer. I still have dreams of that face, the painted one, not a mask, skin. That white face, those purple eyes, and hair like rusted wire, sticking out in all directions. 3 weeks ago, I got a text from an unknown number. No name, just an image. It was blurry, almost black, like it was taken in the dark. But at the center, clear as day, were those same eyes, glowing, watching. I didn't respond. I didn't sleep. For days, I tried to convince myself it was fake, a sick joke. But then Cassidy called. First time in months. Her voice was shaking. She said she saw him too, not in a dream, in her backyard. He was just standing there, under the tree, motionless. She watched him for over a minute before he slowly stepped backward into the dark. She said nothing else, just hung up. Haven't heard from her since. Last night, Leon called me, told me he found something in the forest, said it couldn't wait. We agreed to meet near the ranger station again. I didn't want to go. Every part of me screamed to stay away, but I knew he'd go alone if I didn't show. I drove out at sunset. The air was colder than I remembered, too quiet, not even wind. Leon was waiting near the old logging road. He looked worse than before, thinner, eyes sunken. He held up a small object, a pocket recorder, covered in dirt. Said he found it buried near the station. We played it in the car. Static at first, then a faint voice. It was Rachel. She sounded calm, like she was talking to herself, trying to stay sane. She mentioned a name, the Red Laugher. Said he didn't kill, said he watched, waited, laughed when no one else did. She said she hadn't slept in days, that he followed her into her dreams. That when she woke up, sometimes the dreams didn't stop. Then there was a pause. Her voice cracked. She said he had others, people she could hear whispering from the trees, and that once you see him, he remembers you. He always finds you again. The tape cut off there. Nothing but hissing static for the rest. Leon said he found the recorder with a pile of old clothes, folded neatly under a rotted tree. One of them was a jacket, Rachel's jacket. I remembered it. Green corduroy, missing a button. That was when we heard it. Not the laugh. Something worse. The sound of bells. Small, sharp, and distant. Like they were tied to something moving slowly through the trees. We didn't talk, just ran. Leaves cracked under our feet. Branches snapped around us. The bells kept following. Closer, but never too close. Leon tripped. I turned back, helped him up. His hand was shaking. We didn't stop until we reached the car. As we slammed the doors shut, the forest fell silent. No bells, no wind. I looked out the window, at the tree line. I didn't see him, but I felt him, watching. He doesn't need to be seen. You just know. Back home, I locked every door, every window, slept with the lights on, but the dreams came anyway. In them, I'm standing in Rachel's living room. She's there, standing by the window, smiling. Her eyes are empty. She turns to me and says, "He found you too." I wake up with the sound of bells ringing in my ears. And this morning, someone left something on my doorstep. A red balloon, untied, floating just above the ground. My name written on it, in black ink. My real name. He remembers us, all of us. And he's not done. Not yet. 3 nights ago, I woke up to the sound of footsteps in my hallway. Not rushed, not heavy, slow and deliberate. I live alone in a small apartment in Portland. 4th floor. Deadbolt always locked. I stayed still, eyes open. The footsteps stopped outside my bedroom door. Then silence. I waited, counted to 60. Nothing. But something was different. The air felt wrong, dense, like the atmosphere had changed. I turned on the bedside lamp. The light flickered once, then held. I got up, checked the hallway. Empty. But at the end of the hall, taped to the wall, was a Polaroid. It was a picture of me sleeping, taken from the foot of my bed. I called Leon, told him everything. He drove to my place that night, said we needed to leave the city, said the Red Laugher never stays in one place, but if he's chosen you, he comes back. Always. We packed bags and drove south, into California. No plan, just the need to get away. We didn't tell anyone. No posts, no calls. We drove past towns that felt like ghost shells. Empty windows, lights flickering at odd intervals. By the second night, we reached a small motel in Northern California, tucked between 2 highways, barely lit. A single clerk at the desk. She didn't ask questions, just handed us a key and said room 7. The room smelled like old rain, the kind that never dries. The sheets were cold, the windows stuck, but we locked the door and stayed up all night. Around 2 a.m., the power went out. Not just the lights, everything, even the motel sign outside. I looked out the window. There was a man standing under the street lamp across the lot, too far to see his face, but the way he stood, tilted slightly, like he was listening. I watched him for over 10 minutes. He never moved, not once. Then the lights came back. He was gone. Leon found another recording on our windshield the next morning. Another tape recorder, this one newer. He played it in the car. A voice came on, but it wasn't Rachel. It was male, calm, clear. He said we wouldn't make it far, that he didn't need to follow. We were already carrying him with us, in our memory, in our fear. The voice said laughter was just a mask, a warning. in that he collects watchers, not victims. He ended with a sound, not laughter, a slow inhale, like someone breathing in your ear from just behind you. Leon wanted to keep driving, but I convinced him we needed help, not police, someone who knew about this kind of thing. That's when I remembered Claire. She was a folklore researcher we met during college, obsessed with American urban legends. Last I heard, she moved to Eureka. We found her in a bookstore basement. She hadn't changed much, still wore those big glasses, still surrounded by stacks of paper and books that smelled like damp wood. We told her everything. She didn't flinch, just nodded slowly, then pulled out a leather binder. Inside were sketches, clippings, handwritten notes. One sketch stopped me cold. Same face, same sharp chin, mess of red hair, purple eyes. Claire called him the Harlequin Shadow, said legends about him go back to the 1800s, first in New England, then the South, now the West. Every place he appeared, people vanished, always preceded by laughter, always followed by silence. Claire said the Red Laugher doesn't hunt, he latches, becomes a shadow you carry. The more you think about him, the closer he gets. That's why Rachel couldn't escape. That's why he's still here. I asked her how to stop it. She looked at me and said, "You don't." That night, Leon went missing. I woke up and his bed was cold. Sheets folded, his bag gone, no note. Just a single red thread left across the pillow. I searched the motel, the lot, the woods behind it. Nothing. I went back inside and played the tape again. This time, the last second had changed. A voice I knew too well. Leon's voice. He said, "I heard the bells. I packed my things and left before sunrise. Drove for hours without direction, just away. But no matter where I go, the air feels the same. Heavy, still, like something's waiting. I stopped at a diner yesterday. The waitress asked if I was okay, said I looked pale. I said I hadn't been sleeping. She smiled and handed me my check. On the back was a drawing, childlike, crude. A clown face, red hair, purple eyes, and 3 words scribbled underneath.